Now, more evidence on alleged money laundering in the Gupta business group is expected to be heard in court this week. Today marks the beginning of week 4 in the 25 million rand Nulane Investments criminal trial. For the first time last week, a witness named one of the Gupta brothers. Our reporter Erin Bates joins us live from Bloemfontein, in fact. Erin, so tell us more about how this particular Gupta brother came up. What were the details?
Michelle, Atul Gupta was named by a witness testifying under oath, the very first mention of a Gupta brother in this ongoing state capture matter. That was a former ABSA employee, now retired, talking about something called a cash focus group, which another ABSA representative who testified told me was like internet banking on steroids. You basically get permissions to run a mini bank within the bank, and it's Atul Gupta who was the managing person of this cash focus group for Sahara Computers. This retired ABSA worker, Linda Channing, said that he was like a super user for the cash focus group, which includes the different Gupta companies which have been linked to this alleged money laundering of funds which the state argues were defrauded from the Free State government in that Mohuma Mobung high-level feasibility report. And so we had this evidence last week moving into the money laundering leg of this testimony. But Michelle, during cross-examined counsel for Ronica Raghavan of Oak Bay, the highest or most prominent Gupta-linked company at issue here in this case, cross-examined these witnesses and asked, once the super user, Atul Gupta in this case, appoints other people under this cash focus group, almost like bankers, people within the group who are given permissions on the internet banking service, whether he then is liable for their conduct. And that's where we started to see the kind of arguments that Advocate Mike Helen, senior counsel, is likely to make in defense of Ronica Raghavan, but with the subtext being that the Gupta brother is not liable here for what happened with the allegedly laundered money.
Wow, so interesting stuff coming out of last week, Erin. What do we expect this week?
So we're going back to some of our Deloitte evidence, Michelle. You may remember that the state's case here is that 1.5 million rand was paid to that firm to do the actual work, to produce the report, which was then sold on by Nulane Investments, a Gupta-linked company, to the Free State government. We've had 2 Deloitte witnesses so far, a third on their way today, we understand, and then further money laundering evidence into the week. In terms of the indictment from the state, you see representatives listed on the witness list from Bank of Baroda, from Nedbank, from ABSA, and others. And so we're expecting to really get into the money, get into the rands and cents entailed in the state capture case as we move through week 4.
Erin, even with all of these developments, could this case be in jeopardy, and if so, why?
It certainly does seem so, Michelle. You know, 3 weeks in, we had some inkling that some of the accused here, there's 6 accused, 3 former Free State government officials, Peter Tabete and Dr. Limakatso Morosi, both former department heads, and then Saipati Dlamini, a former CFO, who's been beleaguered by some illness the last week, which also affected proceedings. And then those 3 private individuals allegedly linked to the Gupta business network, Gupta business matrix, if you will. That's Iqbal Sharma, an alleged Gupta lieutenant, Ronica Raghavan of Oak Bay, and then Dinesh Patel of Island Site Investments, all here. And we do get the sense that they are planning Section 174, I think it is, applications to have the case scrapped, with the intent of arguing that there's no case against them here. Michelle, it's hard to say as a layperson how much clout there will be to those kinds of submissions and averments to the court, but certainly in the case of at least Morosi, her counsel, Advocate Ishmael Semenya, senior counsel, has been arguing that there's no proof of fraud in her case. In his cross-examinations, it's evident that he thinks that she was simply working on the papers in front of her. She wasn't part of some sort of malevolent scheme where she knew that the money the state alleges was being stolen from the state went into the Gupta's web, and that she signed off what looked like good and proper measures to empower Free State farmers when she looked at the paperwork.
Erin Bates has her finger on the pulse, an incredibly important case for the Independent Directorate, the first state capture case that it's reached the trial stage. Erin, thanks very much indeed for that update.